Yes, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. I want to make you just watch this analysis on how judges have turned the Nigerian constitution upside down to favor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Please do me a favor. As you're watching this, make sure say you like it so that Facebook will recommend it for many people to watch. Comment your mind on the comment section and also share. Which way, Nigeria? Let's go now.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great session with the presidential candidate of the fictional Common Sense People's Party. Let me start with this video.
The street. And anybody who thinks in this country that the Court of Appeal is the Supreme Court is the only source of judgment, that person is lying. The highest point of judgment in any country is the people. And when the masses rise against the illegality of governance, nobody can stop them. Even when the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court gives a subverted judgment, we are going to walk on the street if it's not in connection with what the people want. The decree and the development and the value of the people in democracy matters. The people are the judgment, and the judgment is for the people. Appreciate it.
Now, today is indeed a sad day in the history of this country. Today, the 6th of September 2023, is the day the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria completely loses its relevance. I personally went to the city center this morning, and the military presence all over the city of Abuja was shocking. It clearly signified that something unusual was about to happen. And that unusual occurrence is the death of the Nigerian Constitution. And I am so disappointed at what happened in court today. In fact, I am struggling to make the video that I'm making right now. I thought about not making a video at all, but I said to myself, we have come a long way, my audience and I. Today of all days is not the day I should go silent on my friends here. And that's why I'm speaking. The panel of 5 judges led by this man, Justice Samani, have turned the Nigerian Constitution on its head. Justice Samani said that 25% in the FCT is not sacrosanct. He began speaking like touts. He began speaking like people that hang around at newspaper joints. He said, are the people in FCT, are they different from the people in other parts of the country? That are they special voters in FCT? This is a son speaking. You know very well that the Constitution was not written by you and I. None of us talking now was there when that part of the Constitution was being written. So it is not our duty to fault it. It is our duty to follow it, to translate it. And this man failed woefully in that duty. And 5 corrupt individuals who call themselves tribunal judges have ruled against the will of the people. Just 5 individuals, Nigerians like you and I. And this was what Bode George was talking about in this video. See the video.
And I want to appeal. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but I have my common sense. And I am asking purely on moral suasion purposes. Democracy is about the will of the people, the government of the people, for the people, by the people. Selecting the choice of who should be president, who should be governor, who should be senator, who should be House of Rep member, or should never be through the courts. You know, in this setup, there are 3 arms of government. They are equal arms, but independent. Now, if one of them now decides on our behalf who should be president, who should be governor, it's unheard of. It's absolutely shambolic. How would it be? The 200 million people, about 60 million people voted, and then 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 will now decide the winner of the election. I don't know whatever grammar and these same people live in our society, the lawyers and all that, playing and getting humongous amount of money for displaying and telling us about the technicalities, the what. What we know for real is that the election was shambolic. It did not go through the process as defined by the law. It did not go through the process as defined by the INEC themselves. So I am hoping that the Almighty God will work in the minds of these judges, to come up, tell INEC. INEC is the moderator of the election. Go back and redo the election to make sure the process is just, the process is fair, and the process is justifiable. If they cannot meet it, sack them and get new people to manage the election. But for judges to decide on the will of the people, or through whatever grammar they will give us, will be setting this nation back. You forgot the 12 two-thirds saga? When we had 19 states, they came up with stories about how 12 two-thirds should be about two-thirds of a state or not a state, all kinds of technicalities. Where did that lead us as a nation? Let's get off from this doldrum of hell and go to join the civilized people in the world. God has so given this nation so much. Mineral resources in every part, human resources in every part. Look at all developed countries in the world. You hear about Nigerians who are experts here, experts there. They are all over. Why can't we do something for ourselves?
Well, it's such a pity. The judges didn't listen. We have been urging them and telling them to do the right thing. But as it stands now, virtually all the prayers on Obi and Atiku's petitions have been struck out. But that is not the only sad thing that happened today. Another sad thing that happened today was that common men like you and I, common men, turned up to the tribunal today and began carrying placards, throwing their support for Tinubu. They came out and said, yes, nothing must happen to Tinubu's candidacy. And this is what I always point at as the reason why the ruling class is so powerful. It is because the masses cannot stand together. How much did they give them? 2,000, 3,000. They are okay. They carry placards and begin to protest. Protesting against protesters who are going against the judiciary, against those who are asking the judiciary to do the right thing. And His Excellency Peter Obi was absent from court today, of course, for obvious reasons, with what the likes of Mary Odili and all those people were saying, with what they've been saying for the past 2 days now. It became obvious what the tribunal was trying to do. I'm not trying to say I'm 100% sure that was why he didn't show up, but that could also be a good reason for him not to show up. You know, there is actually no need to come and sit down in front of these despicable judges and waste your time with them when they have already decided to throw the constitution into the bin. Look at the show of shame in court today. Just look at it. The whole pronouncement of the judgment was so boring and meaningless that everybody began to fall asleep. This is Rufai Hussaini of Arise TV. He was asleep. Sheon Kimbaloye of Channels. Look at the sons. All of them sleeping because of how shambolic the exercise was. Now we have protesters in Abuja here waiting for the final declaration of Tinubu so that the protest can begin. But we also have very heavy military presence, police everywhere. And I have to be honest with you, the turnout of the protesters is not as much as I expected. Because like I said, many people have decided to go along ethnic and religious lines, just as I have always feared. And as far as this division begins to rear its head, the people will become weak. But I am speaking specifically for Abuja, not for other states. I'm speaking for the FCT because I went out today as a protester and I met other people waiting and ready to protest. But our number was not as massive as I expected. And honestly, fear is also a factor here. I know I said people have been divided along tribal and religious lines, but fear is also a great factor that is holding people back. And to be fair, the military presence was scary, so it is normal that some people will be afraid. But in this fight, we have to keep fear aside if we are ever going to win. We are going to be waiting to see how the Labour Party and Peter Obi are going to react to the whole thing tribunal is doing tomorrow. I know they are heading to the Supreme Court, but we are not going to get anything different because these judges are all the same. They have been heavily compromised. But let us see how Nigerians, especially the youths, are going to react tomorrow. This is not a fight for one person. It has to be everybody doing it together in all the states or virtually all the states of the federation. It's not something that the FCT alone can do, or that Lagos or Rivers State or Edo State alone can do. People have to stand up in all the states that know that they gave their votes to His Excellency Peter Obi. They need to stand up, come out and begin to protest, because that is the only way out. If that is not done, if heavy protest does not begin, I don't think there is a way a positive result can't come out of this. Even when many of the things that these tribunal judges said contradicts totally many judgments that have been passed before in the Supreme Court. But we already know that we cannot trust any of the judges. Anyway, make I leave am here. I'm not in a very good mood, so make we just end am like this. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being part of this session. See you tomorrow. Good talk.